Morning, everyone. You may have a little trouble hearing me with this mask on. Welcome to our Board of County Commissioners meeting for April 8th, 2020. We are filming and have the phone available. But to start with, would you all please rise and join me in pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the phone, do we have anybody that wants to announce themselves?
Wendell Cruz is here.
Morning, Wendell.
Morning.
Okay, we will move along then. A couple of announcements. We will control the phone from here, so if you wish to speak, you need to let us know.
But have their phones muted.
And then the other thing is the videos that the county made are not being released because other counties that have done it have been hacked. So we're trying to save our IT for real emergency situations, so those videos are kind of on hold right now. With that, we'll move on with our meeting. Do we have any additions to the agenda?
I have none.
The agenda will be considered approved. Do we have any constituents that wish to speak? Hearing none, we'll move along to County Clerk. Terry Stevenson.
I have minutes for March 18th, March 25th, and March 31st. Do you have any corrections for any of those minutes?
I have none.
I didn't see anything.
I have none.
Okay. I also have a liquor license renewal for a hotel and restaurants for Kuros LLC, doing business as Alexander Lake Lodge, located at 2121 Barren Lake Drive in Cedar Edge. I did contact the health department and the sheriff's department, and they had no issues with this renewal. So at this time, I would be recommending approval of the liquor license.
I'll move that the board approve the liquor license renewal for a hotel and restaurant for Kuros LLC, DBA Alexander Lake Lodge, located at 21221 Barren Lake Drive in Cedar Edge.
I second that.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
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 Aye. So done. So, moving along to Commissioner business. Is Chris gonna come in here, or is he doing it virtually?
So Chris is actually on his way to the field site for the radio tower outside of Crawford. So I'll jump in with our EOS COVID-19 update.
Okay. Take it up.
Okay, as you all authorized then, the EOC was put into place March 17th and has been operating full-time since then. When we look at the objectives under the Unified Command includes Karen O'Brien with Public Health Department, Jody Rober with Delta County Memorial Hospital and Delta County. Then the objectives have not changed. The objectives are in line with the state approach. Again, protect the healthcare infrastructure, protect Delta County's high-risk populations, ensure that all involved with the response have up-to-date guidelines, utilize the EOC to coordinate responses, resolve problems, find resources, support local jurisdictions with logistics and personnel, and effectively deliver rapid, meaningful, and actionable public information. As you know, this information continues to change. Delta County, as of this morning, has 6 confirmed cases. Delta County Memorial Hospital has indicated that they have tested 150, 148 of them have been negative, and 2 are pending. There are other facilities that provide testing. River Valley Health reported this morning that no tests were done yesterday. If we look at the hospitalizations based on the surveys of primary care physicians and the hospitals, there is a steady to slight increase as of yesterday in those seen at the hospital. Our Joint Information Center then, led by Darnell Place Weiss here at the county, has done amazing work pushing things out on social media, pushing information out to the assisted living, to the nursing homes, to the senior centers, to all of the volunteers, as well as having that information be translated into Spanish for the individuals in Delta County. We see the continual messaging for the grocery stores, for all of the stores, that our Delta County Health Department is pushing forward as well. Our call center, we have changed those hours. We were going 8 to 6 through Monday through Saturday. Based on the drop in call demand, then we have moved those hours 8 to 5, closed Saturday and Sunday. Lance Bourne has headed up that effort, and our volunteers are providing critical information. Yesterday, we met with the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment again as the Unified Command. There is the state effort to set up Tier 3 and Tier 4 facilities for care that will primarily be done in Mesa County. They talked about their capacity. Then the hospital has done a superb job of preparing their surge as well as Tier 3 and Tier 2 facilities. The EOC will be supporting the hospital in planning for additional supplies, additional staffing, as well as the current level of beds. Again, all of these are in anticipation of a surge that may occur here locally. Everyone is working very hard and again with the effort that this has been here and will continue to be here. Working and coordinating with all of our EMS, our fire, all of the law enforcement then to deliver the same message. We are seeing an increase in the request for TANF funds, and the Human Services Building is working hard on that. If we look at our health department then, they are working on the community tracing as well as the information for the cases that have been confirmed in Delta County. Environmental Health is working with not only our skilled nursing and assisted living facilities, working with each of them each day to determine there's the health, the individuals that are healthy, as well as the patients and staff that are there. We look at our business development, which we'll talk about more later then. Elise has led the effort to clearly articulate to all of our business community how to access the confusing federal systems that are providing funds at this time, as well as just helping them prepare. And again, later we'll talk more about that, about shifting some of our emphasis to our business effort. Again, I do not want to go through all of the closures. It's there in front of you on the situation report. Be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Any questions for Rodney?
The 6 cases now, but none are being seen at the hospital. They're all at home in isolation, or?
I know the 5 for sure. I'm not sure about the 6 that was announced this morning.
Okay.
Once again, I want to thank everyone involved with the EOC for the dedication and work they put in, and that goes double for for Rodney, being part of the incident command team. I know firsthand because my wife is one of the other ones, but the amount of time that the three of them put in is way above and beyond, and the whole team. And I just want to say thank you to all of them, and even our JIC coordinator over there in the corner. She's doing way above and beyond, and we appreciate it. But once again, I just want to say, I feel that we are as prepared as we can be. And hopefully, it's been a lot of work that doesn't have to come to fruition, but I appreciate everything that has been done. And I feel we are in a good place if this does really get out of hand. So I just want to put that on the record.
Yes, I agree, and thanks to everybody involved. A lot of work, a lot of time. How can you be prepared for something like this? It just props up, and we do the county, and the volunteers, heads of the departments, they've all did an outstanding job, and again, thank you.
And the other aspect of that too is, we've been doing this now for quite a while, you know, and our staff hasn't let up. We haven't slowed down. And for that they should be commended, because we're going on a number of weeks now that we're still going full bore doing this process. And none of them have slowed or tired at all, so that's commendable.
Any questions on the phone?
Does anyone on the phone have any questions? Hearing none, we will move on then. Next on the agenda, we have Delta County Ambulance District permits.
So we only have one to sign. It's the Advanced Life Support Critical Care Permit AMB 2020.04. This is for the Delta County Ambulance District. Again, this is based on statute that you all provide the authorization and the issue of the ambulance inspection. Chris Stewart, as the Emergency Management Coordinator, has done the inspection and signed off on the document here. We will be signing all documents at the end to avoid significant film interruption.
Okay, with that, I would look for a motion.
I'll move that the board approve and authorize the chairman to sign the Delta County 2020 ground ambulance permit number AMB-2020.04. This is for unit number 4, Advanced Life Support Critical Care.
I second that.
Have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
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 Aye, so done. As stated, we will sign after we're all done. Next we have a RFP for communication tower.
As mentioned, Chris Stewart is up looking at that site as we speak. You have the bids in front of you. Just a little bit of background information that Chris has put together. Early in 2019, Delta County became aware of a unique funding opportunity made available by the Colorado Legislature to expand 800 megahertz digital trunked radio system public safety radio coverage in the state through the addition of a new radio tower site across the state. The funding was established by House Bill 18-1325, which was allocated to the Governor's Office of Information Technology to establish additional radio sites across the state in rural areas with poor radio coverage. Delta County public safety agencies have been seeking to improve radio communications in the Crawford area for the past 10 years. Emergency Management Dispatch put together a communication site plan of development for the BLM last year after learning of the funding source, and worked with Montrose BLM to obtain a site lease for the Young's Peak to add an 800 megahertz radio communication site. This lease was signed by the BoCC on February 19, 2020, and sent to the BLM, who has signed and returned the lease. To receive the equipment from OIT, Delta County must provide a 60-foot freestanding tower power hookup for the state's building, improve the access road to the site, manage weed control on the lease right-of-way and lease area, as well as provide a 1,000-gallon propane tank for the emergency generator and security fencing. In return, OIT will provide the public safety radio antennas and microwave dishes, all Motorola radios, the emergency backup generator, prefabricated shelter for the radios and HVAC system, and this all has a value of $400,000 to the county. To offset the expenses to the county, Emergency Management received commitments from North Fork Ambulance Association and Colorado Department of Transportation for up to $85,000 for each for the construction of the tower. During the BLM lease application, Delta County put out an RFP for proposals for the 60-foot freestanding tower, and 2 bids were received, which you have in front of you. One from Galvanized Endeavors out of Colorado Springs for $83,250. One for Mountain Radio Systems Incorporated out of Grand Junction for $106,889. After receiving the lease from the BLM and terms and conditions of the lease, Dispatch and Emergency Management reviewed the submitted bids in March and recommend the county move forward with awarding the bids to Mountain Radio Systems Incorporated of Grand Junction. While the bid is more expensive, their proposal was more detailed, and the 800 megahertz tower site across the Colorado Mountain Radio System has extensive experience, especially in western Colorado. He is out of Grand Junction, and he did complete a site visit with Emergency Management to examine the site and collect data before submitting the proposal. In addition, Mountain Tower can complete the tower project in 14 days after all the construction details have been approved and negotiated with the BLM as well as Delta County Road and Bridge as they improve that road. So again, that is the recommendation. We do need to award the bid, and then we'll be able to move forward with the MOUs. It does appear, based on estimations from our road and bridge, that improving that site to the road, which includes initial site leveling and final site grading, that will be an expense the county incurs of $25,000 to $30,000. This will become especially critical as CDOT moves forward with their little blue project and the detour that will go over black. That is why you see the assistance of funding from CDOT. I can provide additional details if you'd like, if there's any questions.
Any questions from the board?
This will be just for emergency radios, it won't be for like a cell phone tower type application.
What we're putting up will be for emergency management. Now, we have no say over that is BLM ground, so other private entities can request a BLM to use that site for their own towers.
This tower is not like the towers where they can add a beacon to or whatever for cell service. It is strictly for emergency management.
Now, we may, down the road, put additional VHF repeaters on that tower. But again, that would be for emergency services as well as CDOT.
Okay.
We may do that.
Any other questions?
Well, I move that we award the bid to Mountain Radio Systems Incorporated, 489.5, 28.5 Road, Grand Junction. Mike Kelly, representative, in the amount of $106,889.
A second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
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 Aye. So done. We have a consideration of a proclamation. April is Fair Housing Month.
Normally, the Board of Realtors would be here and it would be a presentation and have you all sign we will not be doing that at this time, but they did send forward their proclamation, which we can read into the record, if you like.
It's a short one, get after it.
Whereas April marks the 52nd anniversary of the passage of Title VIII of the Civil Rights Act of 1968 as amended, and whereas the law guarantees that housing throughout the United States should be made available to all citizens without regard to race, color, religion, gender, family status, disability, or national origin. Whereas the National Fair Housing Law during the month of April provides an opportunity for all Americans to recognize that complete success in the goal of equal housing opportunity can only be accomplished with the help and cooperation of all citizens. Now therefore, the Board of Delta County Commissioners in the state of Colorado proclaim April as Fair Housing Month in the County of Delta, and do hereby urge all the citizens in this locality to become aware of this and support the Fair Housing Law.
Any questions or discussions from the board?
No, we do this every year, and I will move that we sign the proclamation from the Board of County Commissioners for Fair Housing Month of April 2020.
I second that.
Have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
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 Aye, so done. Again, we'll sign at the end, so we'll move along to ratifying warrants.
I'll move the board ratify the warrants from the various funds paid by warrant numbers 137578 through 137751 from March 11th, 2020 through March 31st, 2020, totaling $695,038.76 in accounts payable, $1,192,380.35 in monthly county human services and health department March payroll for items budgeted and approved per Delta County policy.
I second that.
Motion and a second on the floor. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. So done. Next we have the 2020 Delta County Noxious Weed Management Plan.
Okay, included in your packet is our Delta County Noxious Weed Management Plan. We have not updated that plan in the last couple of years. It was decided this year that we needed to update that plan. I want to specifically thank Lisa Taylor, one of our contractor with Pies Vegetation Management, who took our old plan, updated it with the state input, as well as changing the wording and format. It has been reviewed by our Delta County Weed Advisory Board. As you know, we have had numerous inquiries out there to the public asking for representation across the county for our Noxious Weed Advisory Board. We did have a conference call 2 weeks ago with not only our contractors, but representatives from the U.S. Forest Service, BLM, Colorado Parks and Wildlife, Western Slope Conservation Center, as well as a few landowners. We are still in need of additional landowners. State statute indicates that the landowners need to have 40 acres or more. But they did recommend the approval to the Board of County Commissioners for the Delta County Noxious Weed Management Plan. What I did not get done for you today is to actually have the resolution drafted, but I can do that at the next meeting. But still for your consideration or input, if you have any changes you'd like made in the plan, you can do so at this time, and we can make those changes, and I can bring that back to you. But you can either recommend approval at this time or recommend changes, and we will get the resolution to you at the next meeting.
I'd really like to commend Robbie and all the time she spent on this. She's really dedicated a lot of time to getting this done and getting it done right. I thought it was, as I read through it, I thought it was pretty well done. My only suggestion would be, more pictures for the, not as, informed citizens like me that don't necessarily know what some of these really are.
Okay, fair point.
Do you wanna read it into the record?
No.
Just- Yeah, it's pretty involved. Well, I move that we, adopt the Delta County Weed Management Plan, and, then we'll have a resolution at the next meeting, and maybe more pictures.
I second that motion.
A motion and a second on the floor. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye, so done. Next, we have a bid RFP for truck tractor, road and bridge District 1.
Okay, per the 2020 budget that you all approved, you had approved a truck and tractor for Road and Bridge District 1. We had 2 bids submitted. First bid from Westfall Odell of Colorado Incorporated out of Fruta for a base total cost of $132,365. Next is McClandis Truck Center out of Grand Junction, and the bid there was $141,125. Road and Bridge had reviewed both bids. They are recommending the International Truck and Tractor at $141,125. It indicates that the first bid did not meet spec item number 69, which was the extended cab. The reason for the extended cab is safety gear storage, as well as first aid kit, etc. And Vol did not have that option. Budgeted amount for this purchase in our 2020 budget was $155,000.
I move that we, accept the bid for 2020 RFP-05 for the truck and tractor, road and bridge, District Number 1, awarded to McCandless Truck Center out of Grand Junction, 2332 I-70 frontage road in Grand Junction. The bid amount, $141,125.
Second that motion.
Have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye. Okay, next we have emergency response for Delta County businesses.
Okay, so as you all have noted, we have been working with Delta County businesses since the beginning of setting up the EOC. Again, Elise and her team have worked extensively to not only provide information to our businesses, but also to make sure that that information is coordinated, as well as clear up some of the confusion. But based on the information that is coming down from the federal system, based on what we see looking out, based on what we're hearing from our business community, what we're recommending to the board for your consideration is that, similar to the response that we've set up for the medical and the public health side of the COVID-19, that we also set up a similar structure for the business side. We know that the business side is going to be an extended period. We also know that there's a tremendous amount of resources that are coming down from not only the federal and the state, but they're very confusing. There's not clear guidelines given to our banks. And we just wanna have the same coordinated system that we have with our medical side, with the business side. We would not task the same players. Again, it would primarily be Elise working with external partners, as well as our banking community, Region 10, our Engage system, our Engage group that could also carry the lead here, identifying members of tourism that would be able to help, our propping up of One Delta, again, our banks, and then our local economic development entities that are there. We would work to build a structure that would also potentially include a loan fund through this third-party entity that would be assisting businesses. But we wanted to kind of answer questions. We wanted to have you look at an incident command type approach, because the business side is the entities that for Delta County that's going to have the longer impact much past the medical, and just wanted to have that same effort. But I wanted to answer any questions, get preliminary approval to build this structure, look at potentially partnering with third-party entities to really help our business structure and to help our businesses walk through the maze that is very evident with some of the federal resources that are coming down. Questions?
I really think this is a solid approach to this process. Just being out there dealing with some of these businesses right now, it's a struggle. These folks are really having trouble. They're gonna really have a tough time coming back from this. I think we need to make sure we include municipalities in this. Any type of, regulatory authorities that, have a chance to maybe streamline regulations to make these processes easier. And, it's gonna take an all hands on deck approach to get this thing moving back again. And, we've already suffered some losses that will not be returning already. And it's gonna make it harder. So I think this is a really good idea, and I really think we need to move forward with it.
I would concur with that. I think it's an idea that we really need to go forward, because as Commissioner Supas said, the implications that businesses are feeling is pretty significant already, and we aren't at the end. And what I've been hearing is even with these loans, that the lending institutions are waiting for guidance from the feds as to how to really institute them. So whatever help we can give to businesses, we need to look at. And I think this is a good approach. My concern to start with was we didn't want to task the same players to be doing more and more, but I think with what you explained is a good path forward, and I'm in favor of going forward with it.
Yes, I agree also. And the SBA loans are not easy loans to process, and it take a lot of time. Although I talked to the banker the other day, and they said the SBA was loaning out money at the rate of $1 million an hour. They were processing the loans. As long as all the paperwork, it was a bona fide request. But yeah, it should be explored, and we should support it. Thank you.
So just, we have the IC response incident command to ensure the communication with decision makers. Again, liaison with that policy direction. Business coordinator responsible for coordinating the resources with our Delta businesses across the entire county, all of Delta County. Again, we would call it the business recovery, plan for Delta County. Communicate with the businesses, similar to how we're surveying physicians, surveying the businesses to identify those needs. And then just, continue to track the trends when we think about the federal funds that are coming down and help with the hurdles.
So I think you got a head nod from all three of us. Do we need a formal action?
I don't think it would hurt, just if you would just authorize us to set up the business recovery, IC plan.
Okay, I would entertain a motion now.
I will make that motion that we authorize staff to come up with a business recovery plan and set up a team to take on that task.
I second that.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by aye.
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 Aye. So done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. John will be here at 11:30, and we need to update our emergency declaration. We had initially, had hoped we would be out of it by April 10th or 15th,
Yeah.
I can't remember. But anyway, we need to extend that when John gets here at 11:30. In the meantime, we have jail reports, road and bridge, landfill.
We'll enter the road and bridge and landfill reports in the record. We have a jail report in the packet.
There are, should be two.
Oh, there it is. I got it. We'll read that into the record on, this is for Monday, March 30th, 2020. Delta County Detention Facility count. Male inmates in the county jail, there were 30. Female inmates, there were 6. Male inmates, Department of Corrections, 6. Female inmates, Department of Corrections, 1. Work release for females was 0, for a total of 43. In the work release building, mainly due to the COVID, the sheriff has not been using the work release building, so it's a 0 all the way through, so we had a grand total of 43 in detention. And for the average daily population for the week of 3/23/20 through 3/30/2020 was 56.46. And for the next week, for Monday, April 6th, there were 25 male inmates in the county jail, 6 female in the county jail, 5 Department of Corrections in the county jail, 2 female Department of Corrections, 0 work release, for a total of 38. And once again, with the work release at 0 all the way through, we had a grand total of 38. So the average daily inmate population for the week of 3/30/20 through 4/6/20 was 45.41. And once again, that partly due to the concern about COVID getting in our detention services, that they're a lot more particular about who they put in there now, so that's the report. I guess we will recess until 11:30.
Would you like to hear from Terry on the election?
Oh, yes, that would be great. Terry, you had the municipal elections yesterday?
We did have municipal elections. We, although it was an all-mail ballot election, we still continue to get our average 35.7% return. It went very smoothly. We had nobody request replacement ballots because we were providing that service. They would have to call in and we would meet them out front, but we did not receive any of that. So we felt like it went very smooth. There was still the same normal amount of participation. The town of Paonia had the highest return. They had 55%. The rest of the communities were on the average between 30 and 35%. So staff did a fantastic job doing it strictly with staff and no outside election judges. So it went well, and we are preparing ballots for the special district today. So we go right into the next one.
Well, staff is to be commended for the work that you guys did and put it together and kept it in-house and everybody stayed safe, and that was the goal, and went off without a hitch.
No
so
hitch, yep. It went very smooth.
Congratulations and thank you.
Yes.
Very good,
They were excellent staff. They did a nice job.
very good.
All right, well, we will recess until 11:30 when John can be here then, I guess. Darnell.
So you can either mute it and they can stay on the line, or they'll have to dial back in.
People on the phone, we can mute and you can stay on the line, or else you'll have to dial back in at 11:30 if you want back in.
Dial back in, thanks, guys.
All right, thank you. I think that would be easier.
Okay.
How do you turn it off?
Third button from the left side. Square.
Okay.
Thank you.